Hello, everyone. Depending on whichever part of the world you are tuning in from, I'm saying good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. I'm glad to welcome you to another exciting session of our weekly price action based technical analysis series. In this episode, we are going to be focusing on the GBPUSD market structure. But before we kickstart, I want to stress here that this video is dedicated to educational purposes. Our main goal here is to provide with valuable insight into the GBP USD chart and of course enhance your proficiency in price action analysis. However, I must reiterate that the importance of approaching trading decision with caution is very important. And of course, you need to seek advice from professionals before making any financial moves. With that being said, in today's session, I will be sharing with you my discoveries after conducting a comprehensive price action based technical analysis on the cable market structure. Our analysis will revolve around using simple technical setups to uncover potential ideas that could significantly impact our trading choices. In less than 10 minutes, we will explore the historical price movement of the GBP USD, utilizing trend lines, key levels, and of course, chart patterns to gain valuable insight into the current market structures of the GBP USD. But before we jump into the technical intricacies of the upcoming week, let's take a moment to review on the key moments that influenced our decision during the course of last week. Well, during the course of last week's trading session, at the beginning of the week, we were able to identify a simple flat channel where price action was confined between our key level for last week, at which was at the 1.3100 level, and of course that support line there at the 1.30820. Throughout the first 24, 36 hours of last week, it was more of an indecisive phase as we initially thought price action will be going bearish as we saw the breakdown of that support line happen. So we were waiting for a retest of structure, which never happened. Then price broke out the resistant line. We had the buy position triggered, but unfortunately, the price took us out of that buy position in a loss as we saw price drop back down into the support line to trigger our first sell position for the week. We were lucky enough to ride that move a little bit further to the downside, as you can see, before the bullish momentum began here, giving us higher highs and higher lows, making us anticipate a bullish move at the breakout of the 1.3100 area. As you can see, we had a buy position. Price moved about 50 pips thereabout before the bearish momentum began. And if you were part of our Forex Morning Mastery live on YouTube on Tuesday, I mentioned that this ascending trend line, which is highlighted in blue color, is going to be serving as our yardstick for trading activities on that day. And when price action broke down and retested that trend line, it was a very good opportunity for us to join a bearish move. And since that moment, we continue to sell the GBP USD. And in fact, economic data coming in from the UK didn't help matters as price continued to drop to the downside, making us to hit our first TP target for the week, culminating to about 270 pips during the first half of the week. We continue to ride the move all the way to the downside, as you can see here, as price continued to break down key structures. So it was quite an interesting week for us on the GBP USD. And for those who would like to review this commentary for educational purposes, you will see the link to this commentary in the description box of this current video. And for those who are watching from my YouTube channel, you will definitely be seeing the link to this commentary at the top right hand side of your screen. So, with that being said, here let's dive right into the business for today. And of course, my center of focus today is going to be on the 4 hours time frame, as this is a follow up to our previous analysis on this instrument. So, what I did here was to take into consideration the nature of price action since the beginning of the month of June. And just mere looking at the chart, you will see that price action has been very, very bullish. And in fact, I was able to identify a couple of trend lines after connecting the series of higher lows. So we have one right here. And of course, we had the second one right here when price action deviated from that major ascending trend line. And of course, this line right here has been supporting that bullish momentum in the last couple of months. Now, besides the ascending trend line identified are a couple of key levels, which of course I have the major one right here at the 1.28400 area, which is going to be serving as my key level for the new week. And you know how we use key levels in this community. When price action remains above the key level, we want to be looking out for patterns and structures that will support the idea of buying. While if price breaks down the key level, we want to be looking out for patterns and structures that will support the idea of selling. Now, with the situation we have here, you will see that price action is back within that key level, which of course shares a beautiful confluence with that ascending trend line I identified earlier to give us an important confluence to look out for trading opportunities during the early hours of next week. Now, with the situation we have here, we are caught within two possible scenarios from this area. One of them is the potential of price action respecting that ascending trend line one more time to incite a trend continuation to the upside. That is one scenario. And then the other possibility here is if price breaks down both the 1.28400 level and the ascending trend line, we could probably see an opportunity to sell. But one key note here is that we have another bus stop at the 1.2700 level, which of course shares a confluence with that major ascending trend line where it is very important for us to remain patient around this area to see how price action will react to that level. And depending on how price reacts to this confluence will determine if we are going to be adding more sell positions at the breakdown retest of that structure, or we are probably going to be joining another wave of bullish momentum if a buy pressure resumes around that area. So these are my views here on the GBPUSD for this week. Then another thing I would like to call our attention to is what really happened during the previous week, where we saw, I think about upper week, when we saw the breakout of that key level here at the 1.284. And from a technical standpoint, it is expected that when price breaks out of a key structure such as this one, we might likely see a situation where price comes back to retest that structure. And interestingly, that structure also shares a confluence with that ascending trend line. So it's looking very bullish here, but we will still need some exercise some patience to see how the market will react to this confluence to see if we are truly going to be joining a bullish move or probably joining a bearish move to the downside. So before I stop the video at this juncture in the market, I also want to um, call our attention to the fundamental aspect of the market. And of course, for those who have been with me for quite a while now, you would know how important I have considered the economic calendar to be, as these fundamental factors often manifest on the chart in technical patterns and, of course, price movement. And by monitoring the economic calendar, we can easily identify potential correlations between key economic releases and specific technical patterns. And from the economic calendar, I was able to pull out an high impact event from both economic, that is the UK, and the US. So the first economic event is coming in on Monday, and that is the S&P Global publication for the CIPS manufacturing PMI, composite PMI, and of course the CIPS services PMI. Then from US economic docket, we have the S&P Global for Manufacturing PMI and the Global Services PMI 2. Then on Wednesday is the most anticipated interest rate decision coming in from the US economy, which is one event majority in the market will be looking forward to. And of course, on Thursday is the from the US economy as well, is the gross domestic product annualized for quarter two. Then I think on Friday, yes, we have the core personal consumption expenditure price index, another one to look out for. So all these high impact events will definitely be reflected on the chart as price action. So let's see what was going to happen during the early hours of the week around this area, after which I will be giving you an update on what I think is likely going to be happening after monitoring how participants in the market will be reacting to that confluence around the 1.28400 area. If you have found this content helpful and useful in making your independent trading decision for the week, I would greatly appreciate your support by giving the video a thumbs up. Your likes are valuable to me, and in fact, it helps the algorithm promote the video to a wider audience of traders who may find this material beneficial. Thank you in advance for doing so. And if you haven't already, I encourage you to follow me on this channel for more of this content. By subscribing, you would always stay updated with the latest ideas I share, and of course, receive notifications whenever I upload new videos and commentaries. See you in the comment section on Monday morning as we get prepared for the new week. Do have a wonderful and beautiful evening, everyone. Bye bye.